It's Thursday, September 28, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. Thank you for joining us. On today's show, we will talk with Town Manager Mark Els. Then we'll meet Erin Eastman. She's the Career Readiness Counselor, and she's going to tell us all about the internship program at Barnstable High School. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. Town Council meets tonight. On the agenda is a joint meeting with the school committee about the town's financial condition, as well as a presentation from DPW Director Dan Santos on maintenance dredge permits. Under the orders of the day, under old business, they will discuss repealing of the Chapter 115 of the General Ordinance pertaining to hours of operation of businesses between 1 and 3 a.m. Under new business, they will take up appointments and reappointments to board, committee, and commissions. Town Council meets tonight at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall hearing room and will air live right here on Channel 18. The Department of Public Works is performing roadway improvements on Lombard Avenue in West Barnstable. Improvements include reclamation of the existing roadway surfaces and installation of new asphalt pavement along the entire length of both roads. Work is expected to be completed by Friday, October 6th. Vehicle access during construction will be restricted to one lane. Motorists are advised to seek alternate routes to avoid the construction work. Operations will start promptly at 7 a.m. and run until 5 p.m., after which time traffic will be opened up back onto both lanes of the roadway. Do you or someone you know want to become a firefighter? The Barnstable County Fire Chiefs Association will be holding their firefighter entry-level screening exam on Saturday, November 18th. The exam is for full-time firefighter EMT and firefighter paramedic positions. Registration will close September 30th. You may register online by visiting www.eventbrite.com and searching Barnstable County Fire Chiefs. The cost is $70. The Town of Barnstable and Cape Cod Healthcare are once again partnering to host another blood drive at the HYCC. The drive will take place inside Cape Cod Healthcare's Bloodmobile on Friday, September 29th from 10 to 4 p.m. Everyone who donates will receive a gift certificate from Cumberland Farms. There's a desperate need for blood, and you can all be assured that the blood that is collected will stay right here on Cape and be used for care for local residents. Up next, we'll hear from Town Manager Mark Els. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. It's Town Council Week.
Yes.
So we got lots of stuff going on. I know there's a couple of presentations that are happening. I know that the town and the school are doing a presentation tonight. What can you tell me about that?
It's the annual joint meeting that we have with the school committee and the town council. Typically, it occurs more toward the end of the calendar year. Mm-hmm. But in looking at the budgetary process, we really need to establish kind of the ground rules. Our council gives us a strategic plan. One of the other major discussions that we have is with the school committee and the relationship going into the budget that we have with the school committee and the school department. And we also progress with all of our other departments as well at the same time. So Director Milne, Director of Finance, had said, well, it actually says in our charter and the schedule for bringing forward the budget that we do this early in the budget process. So we asked leadership, and leadership said to us, no, that makes good sense. So same meeting we always have, we've just moved it up till the fall. And the Director of Finance, Mark Milne, will be doing a presentation on the financial conditions of the town, and I'll let him describe in detail, but I think we remain on very solid financial ground here in the town of Barnstable. We certainly have challenges, and we will manage those as they come. I think revenues are down, certainly still there and growing, but down a little bit, so I think we're seeing the economy. We had a really good year or two where we met or exceeded. We're going to be at what we're projecting for revenues, which from a planning standpoint is good, but we can see a little bit of weakening, for example, excise tax. And some other areas. So we need to project appropriately so that we budget appropriately so that therefore we manage the resources that we have. So that's, our director has done that very well for many years, and I think you'll hear that again. But in general, it's a very positive report you're going to hear from him.
That's good. Yeah, I know the school department is a big chunk of the town's budget. I think it's the biggest piece, right?
It's the largest
piece, yeah.
operating department in the town. Yeah.
So it's important to plan ahead of time to know what we're going to have to work with, and that way we won't have to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a marina dredge.
Yes, a couple of years ago we received capital funds to do master planning and maintenance dredge permitting within our waters, coastal waters in town. Not just coastal, some of them were looking at some of the other areas under the master planning side that we might want to consider dredging. But under really the discussion tonight will be about the maintenance dredge permit program. And what we've done is gone out and looked at, and to qualify as a maintenance dredge, you have to have been dredged and permitted before in the state of Massachusetts. So these are all the waterways that have been dredged before, not necessarily done on a routine schedule. So not only are we looking at the permitting of them, but we're looking at what that routine schedule should be. And then we're going a little bit further with projecting the costs of doing that routine maintenance, and then looking at various ways to fund that cost.
Yeah.
Because over 10 years, we're looking at $1 million to $2 million a year for these, and we actually have a backlog of where we are in doing some of the maintenance. So we really have to figure out, okay, what are the priorities? There are a couple of different dredge projects that are ready for right at permitting, ready to go. On one on the north side, one on the south side. So we'll figure out how we'll proceed, but all of it has to be within our financial means. So part of it will be that technical permitting discussion. The other part of it will be by our finance director to talk about the various funding options that we have and how do we want to organize this as we move forward.
Okay, that's great. You want to maintain that dredge work that was done. I know that out in Lewis Bay, they did that quite a few years ago. I remember channeling team, we got to go out on the boat and see how it's done, and it's really amazing. It's an amazing thing.
Oh, that was when the I think wasn't that when the Corps came in?
Yeah,
with that large. Yeah. That was a very interesting.
It was.
Project.
It was really interesting, and it's important to keep our waterways open and flowing. And
oh, absolutely. And I think historically, and even currently, certainly, you're looking at the navigation in these waterways and in these channels. But the more and more we understand the dynamics of these systems, there are secondary benefits to making sure that it's kept dredged, such as nutrient loading to these, and it doesn't remove the nutrients coming in, but it helps to take them out as it flushes. And so the better they, the tides come and go, the cleaner those bays will be. So that can be very helpful. And so all of that is being looked at as we move forward in making, identifying what we can do and then making recommendations on how to proceed with it.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good program. Public Works and our harbor master in combination with certainly our leadership looking for these sorts of master plans for our various assets. And then the administration have really worked together well, I think, to try to bring something forward that we can implement.
Great.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to kind of touch on briefly is I know at Town Council tonight they're going to take up the ordinance that businesses are closed between 1 and 3 a.m. I know that happened about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Actually happened when I first started working for the town. I remember that was one of the big things that was brought up at Town Council. And so they're going to revisit this and see, if it's something we need to keep or if they want to change it. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's exactly what you've said. Actually, I think it called upon us revisiting this. And so I believe that the underlying conditions have changed that originally prompted us to put this in place. I also know that as various businesses have come forward and asked for a waiver of it, I think I can't remember one that hasn't been granted. So that lends itself to kind of a little bit of a different environment here. And the council could take this, could remove this, and the council can also put it back if situations merit. So we do have a lot of control in that way. And the discussion tonight will be whether at this point this should be removed, and then if necessary, it would be removed to be relooked at to make sure that a situation doesn't merit it being put back in place, and that'll be the discussion.
I was going to ask you about, as being the town manager and previously as assistant town manager, had you seen many businesses come forward and ask for a waiver?
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year, yes.
That's good. That's good that people are taking advantage of that, and it's not just you have to be closed between 1 and 3. There is some leeway for, being open.
And in some cases, it's as they go through their permitting process, they felt as though to make their business model work, they needed that flexibility. We found that it's varied whether they ever implemented it or not, but I think they felt that it was important that it be asked and considered, and I believe it's been granted. I'm not aware that it hasn't been when it's been asked for. One point of confusion, I've received a lot of calls, not a lot, but several calls, more than any other question, relative to alcohol and alcohol licensing and all that is completely separate. It has nothing to do with this. If there's hours during which you can serve, that still holds. This has nothing to do with it. And so people, I've gotten questions and they're confusing the two.
Yeah. So
and Ruth Weil will be there,
Yep.
so that if any legal questions come up, certainly she'll be able to address that.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in, giving us an update on all these things that are taking place at Town Council tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. My guest today, Town Manager Mark Els. Now we will learn all about the Barnstable High School internship program with Career Readiness Counselor Erin Eastman. Joining me now is Erin Eastman. She's the Career Readiness Counselor at Barnstable High School. Erin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So we're going to talk about the internship program that Barnstable High School does. I know, is it in 2 sessions, in the fall and the spring? Or is
Full
it
year.
Full year,
The students
okay.
are able to spend a full year at an internship
That's
site.
great. So let's talk about a little bit about the program and what exactly it is.
Sure. Seniors at Barnstable High School are able to apply in their junior year to participate in the senior internship program. And they're vetted by their counselors and the housemasters. They pick a site, or they choose from a site that we have on a list. They reach out to the site, they interview, and then we arrange everything so they're ready to start in the fall. In the beginning of the school year, they spend about 2.5 weeks with me in the classroom, and they go through the Youth Employability Skills curriculum, which was put together by the Workforce Development Board, Career Opportunities, and the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. So they learn a variety of skills related to the workplace. So things like customer service, communication skills. We go over attendance and punctuality. And then they finish that with the mock interview event, which is a great event. They dress for success, they look fantastic, and they go through mock interviews with people from the community, and then they start their internships.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a great program. I mean, it's a great way for kids to get used to that kind of being in that environment and understanding, what it takes to be out there and to apply for a job and to be working with the public. So I think that's really great. What are some of the places that kids have interned at?
They go all over the place. It's really exciting. They're able to pick where they want to go, and then we establish the place as a site. But we have a number of places that have been taking interns every year. So the fire stations take internship students, Cape Cod Hospital, Cape Cod Rehab. The Cape Wildlife Center gives a real hands-on experience to the students. Greenbrier has had some of our students. Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, the YMCA.
Wow.
Shepley Wood Products.
So like a wide variety, of interests and things, that the kids might be interested in or learning more about.
Absolutely.
Now, do they pick things based on, what they might be interested in as a career later, or maybe just, something they just might have a general interest in, or?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Some students are focused. They know what they want to do, and they want to go experience it. They want to try it out to confirm that that's really what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Other students are more exploratory. They just want to try something out and see if they like it. So they go in with an open mind, and if it's not really what they were looking for, sometimes we have occasionally had students change sites so they could try something different. And we do have some students that have split internships where they know they're going to be in one site for half the year and another site for the other half the year.
That was going to be my next question. Can they try different things?
Absolutely.
So that's great. So they can get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So how does the grading with it work? I mean, do they Do you get feedback from whoever is in charge of them at their internship? Do you grade? Like, how does that part of it work?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So every week they have a weekly focus question. They go into their internship site on Monday with a question in mind, and they answer it on Friday. They have projects because this is project-based learning. And they're also evaluated through the work-based learning plan, which is something that interns throughout the state are using. So the work-based learning plan is an evaluation that's done on site with the site supervisor. I usually go over as well. And they evaluate the students on the skills that they learned at the beginning of the year. So attendance, punctuality, communication skills, motivation, taking initiative, being safe on site, things like that. So the students have input, I have a little bit of input, and the site supervisor has quite a bit of input on the work-based learning plan.
Yeah, that's good. So it's not just, I'm getting out of school for a couple hours.
Right.
It's, you do have a goal, you do have things that you're, working towards in the program. So that's great. We had an intern here from their program a few years ago, Brenda McCubry. She was wonderful. She took over and she did our sports for us, and it was great. So great to see her start at the beginning, and she was kind of shy and nervous and not sure about what it was. And then by the end of the year, we'd be like, okay, it's time to do it. And she'd be like, okay, and she'd just jump right up and be on camera and was ready to go and was ready to do, anything that we threw at her. It was so great having her. It was such a great experience. So it is a great program that you guys do over there. So.
It is. Yeah. The students love it.
Okay. And if there's any businesses or organizations out there that are interested in maybe, getting their business or organization on your list, the best way they can reach you is by calling Erin at 508-790-6445. So now we're going to meet some of the students that are participating in the program this year. I'm joined by two of the students participating in this year's internship program. We have Mackenzie and Erin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, our pleasure.
So, Mackenzie, you're going to do your first internship the first half of the year. You're going to be at Cape Wildlife. Tell me a little bit about why you decided to do that.
Well, I've been interested in animals for all my life, and I'm just kind of trying to explore my career options outside of high school.
Yeah. What kind of things are you looking forward to participating in with the Cape Wildlife?
Watching surgeries, I think, would be kind of cool. Handling animals. They have like a baby animal season, so you get to feed little baby squirrels and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So, Erin, you're going to be at Cape Cod Healthcare the first half of the year, and you're going to be at Suncorp White the second half of the year. Tell me about what you're planning on doing at Cape Cod Hospital.
So at Cape Cod Hospital, we're going to be doing patient transport and running errands for the different fields and floors and specialties at the hospital, getting some experience how to work with patients and handle certain situations.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great experience overall.
Do you have an interest in the medical field?
I do.
Yeah, that's excellent. And then the second half of the year, you're going to be at Suncorp White, which does engineering. Yep. So what is that, just another focus that you're interested in? You're just trying to figure things out?
It's an industrial engineering company, so I believe I want to enter the field of biomedical engineering. So exposure to both health sciences and the engineering field should be great as we enter college next year.
Yeah, it's a good split between the two fields that you're interested in learning about both of them, in your senior year. Yeah. Why did you decide to take part in the internship program this year?
Well, I don't know. We've been in high school for 4 years now because we started in 8th grade, so I think it was just something that I wanted to have with me before I go off into college where I'm not in the high school environment.
Yeah. How about you?
And for me, I built such a strong relationship with my counselor. I already had most of the graduation requirements for high school, and she brought up doing an internship, and she knew of my interests of the health sciences and engineering fields, so she recommended me to Miss Eastman, and we talked about doing an internship at the hospital in Suncorp White.
That's awesome. Well, good luck this internship season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joining me now, we have Sophia, Sam, and Laurel, and they're also doing internships through the Barnstable High School. So, Sophia, you're going to be at Hyannis Animal Hospital.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about why you wanted to be there.
Well, I've always loved the sciences, and I love animals too. So I'm not really sure what I want to do when I grow up, but I figured maybe Hyannis Animal Hospital would help me figure out what I wanted to do, since it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
So, Sam, you're going to be at Cape Wildlife, just like Mackenzie. What was your interest in going to Cape Wildlife?
Well, my mom, she visits there all the time, and I go there with her, so I'm really interested in helping out, wildlife and stuff.
That's cool. Very cool. And Laurel, you're going to be at Cape Cod Healthcare and Cape Cod Rehab.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about why you chose those.
I know I want to go into the medical field, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have two sites that offer me an opportunity to explore different parts of the medical world and hopefully find my interests, what I'm want to do with my life.
Yeah. And now when you're at Cape Cod Hospital, we be doing kind of the same things that Erin's going to be
Yeah,
doing?
Erin and I will be working together at Cape
that's
Cod
great.
Hospital.
Great. Very cool. So why did you want to get involved in doing an internship your senior year?
Well, I feel like in high school sometimes you don't always get like the outside world experience. So I felt like this would be a really good way for me to get some actual work experience going into college, and also some more experience like just having a job and something like that.
Okay. How about you, Sam?
Well, I know I'm interested in sports, and I just want to like figure out other interested and see if I'm interested in wildlife and like continuing that in college.
Yeah, just expand your horizons a little
Yeah,
bit, learn about
exactly.
something else.
Mhm.
Very cool. How about you, Laura?
I have had friends who did it in the past and absolutely loved it. And they're like, Laurel, when you are a senior, you need to do an internship.
Yeah.
And I've also taken most of the classes that I wanted to. So this is another way to get more learning that I wanted and just have more experience before I go off to college.
Graduate. That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in and telling us about what you're going to be doing for your internships
Thank you
this
for
year.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's get a look at this week's community calendar. The Sturgis Library is asking for your support for the Library Youth Services. October 2nd through November 15th, come buy a $5 ticket to be entered into a drawing for an American Girl doll. All the money collected will be donated to Sturgis Library Youth Services in honor of Melissa Bussell Corley. Tickets are available at the circulation desk. The drawing will be held on November 15th at 4 p.m. Are you a member of the Barnstable High School class of 1977? If so, your 40th high school reunion is just around the corner. The reunion will take place on Saturday, October 21st at the Cape Codder in Hyannis. There will also be a meetup on Friday night, the 20th, as well as a golf outing on Saturday afternoon. For more information or to sign up, go to www.eventbrite.com and search for Barnstable. The Bruins Academy Learn to Play Hockey program is coming to the HYCC. The program will be run over 4 Saturdays in October and November and is available to boys and girls ages 4 through 9. For a registration fee of $100, the program includes a full set of CCM equipment, which includes skates, a professional personalized fitting, and 4 weeks of on-ice instruction led by certified coaches. To learn more and sign up, visit www.bostonbruins.com/learn-to-play. As your final reminder that Town Council meets tonight at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall hearing room. It will air live right here on Channel 18. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow with another great show. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.